Off-crack isn't the only tool that you can use to crack passwords. We're also going to use something here called samdump version 2. And before you use it, you have to have the volume mounted. And you can see here really easily that the volume is mounted. It appears on the desktop, kind of like the Apple Macintosh. And so in another video, I showed you how you can go into the file manager and then go to other computer, I think, and then click on the volume that you want to mount. And then once it's mounted, you see it here. So let's go to the command line and get this ready for us. We're going to use that in a second. We'll go back into our Windows volume. Remember that I have a workstation here, I think enterprise version of Windows, and then I use the I used the live CD version option from the menu, so I booted it. We're working off the DVD drive, the ISO, and then we can access the volume that way. So I'm going to do this through here. Here's my 20 gigabyte volume. Here are my Windows drives and folders. You can recognize that. I'm going to go back to the Windows folder. I'm going to go to the System32. I'm looking for my Security Accounts Manager file where the password is stored. Basically, the user IDs and the password hashes are stored in this file, and the cracking tools have to access those files and then use like decryption algorithms to unencrypt the password, and then to use rainbow tables in order to tell exactly what the passcode is. So now I go to config. There's a folder, I'm in the A's. System32B. Config. And then I just need to find my files. What's kind of monstrous about this is that you can actually take the file right off the Windows drive and put it on the desktop. So the advantage to that is that you can actually break into someone's network and then really quickly steal the files and then use like an FTP server or something to get them out of the network. And then you can spend, a day or a month decrypting the files, figuring out what the company's passcodes are. So I've got the two files on the desktop, and I go back to the command prompt. Now I'm at the home folder, so I have to use my cd desktop command to get into the desktop, and then I could use dir, and then I can see the SAM and the security files. Now there is a file called bkhive, and in the old days you needed to use that, and it's not available. It could be downloaded through apt-get. That's a way that you can get your application packages. If you have internet connection, you can download other software onto Kali or any other Linux distribution. What I found out then is that the second part of the equation, first you were to run bkhive and then you do samdump. And what I found is that I guess in this version 2, you can take both steps all at the same time. So I'm going to take the system, I should have had the system file, not the security file. I still have security here. I didn't move it, so this is safe to delete. Move to trash. So we're going to do the SAM. We're going to dump the information from the system file and the SAM file and combine them together. And then what we're going to do is use the piping command and then put in passwords.txt. And this would take the user ID of every account that's on this computer and then put it into the password text file. Okay, there's password text. It didn't appear on the desktop. Maybe the desktop hasn't refreshed yet. And that's okay, because we know through the directory that the file is there. And now what we can do is use nano password.txt, and then we can open it up. And here you see the actual hashes that everybody's talking about. This code here has to be unencrypted and then attacked, brute force attack with a rainbow table, say with offcrack, and then we could actually find out what the passcodes are. So if you remember from the Malware Freak Show, they used an SMTP server, a mail server. They actually broke into the network, and then they installed the mail server in the network, and then they were able to email files to themselves and then be able to transfer them into the compromised network. In our case, one thing that we could do is we could set up an FTP server, which is much more straightforward and simpler to do. And then we could transfer the files into another computer. So that way we get them off Kali and then use the guest editions to transfer it into our downloads folder, where we could pick up the folder from our host machine and then take those files and work at it at our leisure. There you go.